Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my Swtor brothers and sisters. How's everyone doing today in a galaxy far, far, far? Oh, did someone just leave? Away. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button for all your Swtor fun news, what's left of it, guides and updates right here, right now. My friends, I know it's been a while, it's been a somewhat slow news week. I mean, plus I've been busy. There is other news in Swtor. We'll cover that with 7.5.1 in another video, but I thought this one was a bit more important than that. Now, it was brought to my attention because apparently this completely slipped underneath my radar. One of you amazing people, Prophet out there, who emailed me, and guys, if you do see stuff, hit that email and let me know, because I might not be paying attention. So that is what, and anyone who's working at a Broadsword, got any stories to tell, anything you want to share, hit my email, baby. Friends, this is a sad day. Star Wars The Old Republic has lost another big content creator. A friend of mine, someone I was in the Swtor content creator influencer slash content creator program for a long time, and she's finally gone. XAM XAM. Many of you might know her. She does great and amazing blogs on her website, and she also streams as well. She does a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll leave the links down below in the information down there. I want everyone to go follow her on social medias. She's a great, amazing Aussie out there, and nothing but love to her. She is great. She's awesome. But she did say a bon farewell to Star Wars The Old Republic on her blog post, and we're gonna go over her blog post because I really believe she nails a lot of the things, or if not most of the things, that are wrong or going wrong with Star Wars The Old Republic. So let's get into it, then we're gonna have a chatty chat. Here we go, everyone. Like I said, go to MMO Bites by XAM XAM. Go there, get all the stuff. She is a legend when it comes to MMOs. Anyways, she says, farewell Star Wars The Old Republic. She says, and I quote, since the end of January 2024, I can count on my fingers the number of times I've logged into Star Wars The Old Republic. Being busy in real life world aside, I've had little desire to log into the game. Recently, now that I've had some more time to think about the game and my place in it, I've decided that I no longer want anything to do with it. It is long past time for me to unsubscribe and leave the content creator program. I get that move 100%. It is hard. It was hard for me to leave the program, and I decided to leave it before I was kicked out of it, because they probably would have come up with some stupid excuse like, well, you said something that was under NDA, and I'd be like, my guys, that never happened. But, you know, like it happened to AV out there. But I understand how hard it is to leave it. You leave a group of people that we become friends with. We don't really talk to each other. I mean, most of them don't even talk. It's a thing. But I understand that behind the scenes, it can be hard to do that, hard to pull that plug, especially from a game that you've been playing for a very long time, and especially being in a program that you've been in. Like she was, I think, before I was in, and I was in for years. So yeah, another one of the old guard, a very familiar name within the community, is gone. Let's continue. The Swtor developers in recent years have managed to keep me hanging on to the game by teasing seemingly exciting features and content, drip feeding nuggets of hope to keep me playing the game just that little bit longer. The main recent examples of this being the PvP revamp and the new Apex server, the latter of which, as it turns out, was the last straw. And I believe the last straw for a lot of people. That did not go well. Again, Swtor does a really, the one thing they're very consistent at, and one very good thing they're consistent at, is shooting themselves in the foot every single time. Without fail, they are great at doing that. It's just, it boggles my brain just why. Just, it's lack of good leadership. That's what it is. Primarily, when at the end of the day, that's what it is, and we'll do a video about that later when it gets really spicy. Abandoned. I've struggled with motivation to create content for Swtor for a few years now. I was there, sister, I get it. I've patiently waited for some engaging content to give me that spark of inspiration, content that excited the developers and my fellow content creators. Did nothing for me. I thought it was the problem. I thought there was something wrong with me. In reality, the game abandoned me and players like me. It left us to rot in boredom, subjugated to mindless, broken PvP queues, leaving numerous issues unacknowledged or unresolved, trying to hook us in with restrictive season systems, presenting them as content while neglecting more and more endgame systems that actually engaged the players. I thought this right here was a perfect example and a great point. Well, I've talked about many a times how dailies are the lazy devs way of doing content, right? We've talked about that before, and it wasn't me who made that up. It was a developer I've seen on the interwebs talking about that. Pretty well-known developer too. I can't remember his name. He's got long hair, and his dad used to work at Blizzard. He has glasses. You know who I'm talking about. But I think that with the whole seasonal track stuff that they're doing as well, I think that's just another lazy way of making quote-unquote content. And she's right, it's not engaging. I maybe do like 2 or 3 things on it, and then I get bored out of my skull and I go about going back to World of Warcraft or playing Diablo 4 or anything else. It's not content. She's right, it's not engaging. It's not going to pull people in. You're not going to see this seasonal track and go, dear God, I need to get in there, I need to play now. No one's doing that, primarily because, and she's right, there's no endgame content. There's no legitimate endgame content in this game to keep players in, or better put, as she said, there's no engaging content left in this game for players like us, veteran players who have been playing this game for years. And she goes on to talk about that a little bit later, but she brings up that great point that Star Wars: The Old Republic no longer makes a game for its veteran diehard players. She continues, the game has entered a second dark age. Now this part I don't necessarily agree with her with, but she does make a good point. Those who experience the KOTEF and the KOTET content drought know this feeling all too well. Honestly, I would totally be down with the Knights of the Fallen Empire, Nazi Eternal Throne stuff, especially the first one, because we at least knew at the beginning of every month, we would be getting new chapters and like an hour plus long of content and story to do. That I would love to see back, but unfortunately, I doubt that'll ever happen. But let's continue. Game Update 6.0 gave me some hope. It did us both. But it wasn't long until things began to deteriorate again. The disastrous Game Update 7.0 launch was the beginning of the end. That world heralded a stark change in focus, with the developers releasing updates with minimal content and an increasingly agonizingly slow pace. And that is one of the biggest complaints I see on the forums, in my community and other people's communities, is, you know, I think as MMO players, we're willing to put up with a lot, but when it comes to the very slow and almost deliberate drip-fed story that we get, and I purposely talk like that, slowing my cadence down, because how many people really actually remember what the hell's going on in this story that we're currently in? Right? The gaps are so long between updates, you forget what the heck you're doing there. And why is this important? Because it's gone. That's the problem. You want to constantly keep your audience glued in, and you want them to remember what's going on in the story. However, and that's like, look at World of Warcraft right now. The War Within is about to release next week, early access. I cannot wait. But as we're getting ready to release a brand new giant expansion, they're releasing small clips, small teasers here and there. They've been doing that, you know, weeks beforehand and months beforehand. They're giving you stuff for you to remember what's going on, and it gives you also a little bit taste of what's to come. That's how it's done. Swtor sucks at this, and it's just they're losing people because of it. She continues, the truth is I've spent far more time playing other MMOs than Star Wars: The Old Republic in the recent years. They provide more of the content I enjoy and better engage with their communities, that's for sure. These MMOs have issues too, but they provide more value for money and for my time. Right there, we talked about this when it came down to the Firebolt bundle pack that they're trying to push on people for $100. And I saw that UtiniCast put a poll out, and the overwhelming majority of people said, no, we will not buy this. And I even posted underneath on their, I commented on their thing saying, listen, the reason why at least you guys and I in this community right here aren't going to buy it is because it's not worth the money invested is not worth the return that we get back. So we're not going to do it. And I said games like World of Warcraft, ESO, Final Fantasy 14, yes, we are more willing to open up our wallets to them because the investment, we get a far bigger return on our investment there. And she pretty much just said that right there. So I agree 100%. And Swtor, you've got to figure this out, or you're going to be bleeding even more people from the game that you already have. And here's she comes down at bullet points on some great key issues with Swtor. And we're going to go through them because I think it's very important. So comment in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on these. She says, let's take a closer look at some of my reasons for leaving Swtor behind. Botched APAC Shea Vizsla server launch. Now, yeah, they Swtor'd it. That's pretty much what it is. 24-hour notice, rushed launch, out of the blue. No time to hype and drum up interest in the server to draw players in. That's a great point. That's true. Greater emphasis was placed on the fresh start experience and a healthy server economy rather than sustaining a healthy player population. Yes. Who cares about the economy? If you don't have people playing the game, who cares? You want people playing. You need to draw people into the game, and when they're there, then you start fixing the economy. You're doing a lot of these things that are meaningless at the end of the day because you're not drawing in tons of new people. You're not retaining your old people. Oh my gosh, she nailed it. Amen, sister. Hallelujah. Character transfer restrictions and limitations for free transfers. Yep, that was stupid. Ultimately, the developers put too much time in exploring whether they could open a server with little consideration on whether they should. Was the timing right? Was there a major endgame content release? No. She also said numerous PvP issues remain unaddressed, and I know some of you guys in the comment section have talked about this as well. Cease's post on official Swtor forums provides the best in-depth summary of issues with PvP in the game, but these are the issues I find particularly troublesome. 1. No competitive mode. Competitiveness discouraged by developers because over there in Austin, you don't want your feelings hurt, apparently. Tedious and unintuitive gearing system. Yep, it's dumb. Terrible matchmaking, class stacking arenas, no mercy rule. Class balancing is particularly non-existent. And the PvP season system is awful. The cosmetic rewards are ugly, and gating progression feels just awful. It rewards participation more than effort and skill. And I'm honestly not surprised by this because over there in Austin, there are the people who believe that, everyone who played in the game deserves a trophy, no matter what, even if they lost. Well, no, that's not how people grow. That's not how people learn. If you want to win, you have to lose. And that she brings up a great point. So this whole touchy-feely bull crap is like, no. Just stop. And here's a big one. I know you guys, I see it all the time in their streams. Ignoring the rating NIM community. The rating community waited a long time for the promised NIM R4 raid, only to eventually be told by Eric Musco that the NIM 4 isn't happening and is not going to be happening, so people stop asking about it. But the community continues to be ignored with no new raid content on the horizon, and I honestly don't think we will. No attempt to address low population in Satil Shan. Players have wanted to merge for a long time. Most endgame content is pretty much unplayable outside of peak server time. Now, is this something you guys have noticed? I've gone on, I've just done my thing since Satil Shan, and I just really haven't noticed. So I have noticed not as many people on Fleet as there used to be, but I just thought it was a whole game thing. And here's one we've been beating the dead horse about. The story has been dragging on for far too long. The current overarching storyline stated with 510 Jedi under siege in 2018. Let that sink in. Story needs to be told in much shorter bursts, spanning no more than 2 to 3 years to retain player attention. I would argue it needs to be a lot less time than that. It just has to. Most expansions last 1.5 to 2 years, and they do in World of Warcraft, and they should in this game. But we are going for the long haul in this expansion, and when you have those drawn out periods of no story, no story, no story, you forget what the story is, people leave. And then eventually, they don't come back, no matter what type of carrot you dangle, especially if the majority Star Wars The Old Republic developers of your player base are telling you to stop with this story. They're just telling you to stop. Hell, Blizzard announced Legion early. They usually announce their expansions at BlizzCon, but they announced Legion early because everyone hated freaking Warlords of Draenor. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed opening day because there's so much server snafus going on, because I'm a weirdo. I love launch day. I love when things break. But they announced it early because they realized, crap, the community is not happy with what's going on. We need to fix this. That type of mentality is not at Star Wars The Old Republic, not at Broadsword, and it shows. And she did go on to talk about the recent hot topics when it comes to the KOTOR style cutscenes, but she did pretty much say that she hasn't really played it, so she doesn't have a dog in this fight. So this is her in conclusion. It says, farewell, Swtor. I have nothing bad to say about the developers. All the ones I've interacted with over the years have been lovely people. But it has become quite clear, based on the content they are choosing to and prioritize and launch over the past couple years in particular, that Swtor is no longer a game for me. Their silence could not be louder. They do not want players like me playing their game. Is it a goodbye forever? We'll see. I may still write about the game here and there, but I won't be playing it. If they ever release anything interesting for endgame content, I may still install the game and check it out. But I won't be holding on to the game anymore. Never again. Over 12 years playing this game, and this is what it has come to. Farewell, Swtor, and I think this stings the most. You won't be missed. My friends, XAM XAM brings up great points that I think a lot of us agree with. I might not agree with everything, but those are just surface level. When it comes to the foundation of her argument, she nails it 100% on what's going on with Swtor, or what's not going on with Star Wars The Old Republic. And I will agree too. I don't even have a beef with any of the developers. My time with them, minus, one, but we kind of hashed that out, so it was okay. Eric, especially, I will say this, out of all of them I've worked with, because most of them are gone. Like Charles left, I met him, he was a great guy. I met Eric, he's cool. I like Eric. He's a good guy. I still think he really loves his game, and I don't know, I can't speak for him, so I'm not going to. But as for everyone else, I don't know these writers. I didn't believe I ever met them. I might have, who knows? I don't know. But hell, one blocks me because opinions, right? However, I don't have very many bad things to say at the end of the day, but it sucks. I think this speaks volumes when you have another big content creator for Star Wars The Old Republic who hangs in a towel and says, I'm done. I am done being ignored. I'm done with this. And I think that's being echoed a lot within the community, of a lot of people scratching their heads going, what is going on? What is happening to this game? And when we watch the live streams, the devs act like nothing's wrong. Because they're stuck in their own echo chamber, right? And they've got to try to put a good face on stuff. And it gets to the point where it almost becomes very cringy to watch them get all obsessively excited about stuff that majority of people are like, what is that, and why would you produce that? Why would you do that? Stop. I don't want to make any more pies. Just stop it. Give me endgame. Give me freaking raids. Give us what we would like. Friends, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on all these things. It's just, when I read this the first time, I'm like, girl, you nailed it. So yeah, but please make sure you go to her site, read this again. This will be in the information below. Follow her on her socials to see where she goes next. It's probably going to be Elder Scrolls Online, was it Brave New World or New World? I'm not sure what's going on there. That's a whole nother basket of fun that's going over in that MMO. And join us in World of Warcraft, because the War Within is coming next week, and there's going to be a lot to do. Friends, Romans and countrymen, lend me your subscriptions. My friends, make sure you hit that like button. The more likes you get, the more the algorithm likes us. Hit the bell notification button. Hit the share notification button. Hit the share button. Just do it. The more people see this, the more we get our message heard. And damn it, this is a hill I will be dying on. And I will be here until the servers turn off, my friends. So grab some popcorn and let's go. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Become part of the family here at Boomynation, the freak show YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And as always, my friends, remember to be kind. It's about community. And don't forget to spay and neuter your Wookiees. And we'll see you later, my friends. Good day.